I send that payment over. They're like, oh no.
22, found her and trapped her.
It's the first time that they're being faced with adulting.
Now we're talking about 1.2 million.
You know who wins from that?
The developer or the builder.
And so if our neighbors are not paying their fees, your fee will go up.
That we think that, if I don't have that big of a house, or if I don't live in this city or this area, I'm not doing it right.
Women like safety and security. All right, so in this episode, we are going to address your budget. Not your pre-approval budget, your lifestyle budget, and the math in between. Then we're going to talk about condos and who actually wins with condos, because that's been coming up a whole lot with you guys. And then finally, in what happened this week, someone tried to be AD's friend way too fast to win an offer, and it went so south. This is Blue Sofa. Well, AD, dang, AD, you just be sitting here quiet. What's up?
Sorry, no, I was waiting for you to
annoying. It's so annoying, y'all. Like, my God.
I was waiting for you to do the intro. So what do you want me to do?
I already did the daggone intro.
So do you want me to interrupt as you're doing the intro? Be like,
AD is so, look, y'all see this? AD got us on scripts.
No, I have us on pointers, so we make sure that we...
It annoys me so bad.
So we can make sure that we, fill out all our points and get it out to the people.
I just want to let loose and let off the reins.
I agree, let loose.
My goodness, my name is Amanda.
My name is AD. This is a real estate podcast where we break down real client experiences, talk about what's happening in the marketplace, and we also happen to be married. I don't like that. That almost sounds like you're bored. I don't like that. Cause
you just got all these strict guidelines that we gotta like operate behind, but it's all good. All right, so let me give you a little bit of context when it comes to. So today we're talking about lifestyle budgets versus pre-approval budgets. What I am noticing, it cracks me up.
Yeah. Every
single time people get so juiced up on that house.
They fall in love.
They so juiced on that house. They're like, oh my goodness, this is the house, Amanda. This is it right there. And I'm just like, you have not sent in not one document. You have not filled out anything. Yes.
They're excited.
You will.
Overly joyed.
Yep. And usually I'm usually so calm on the phone. I'm just like, yes, okay. Well, so let's not get too excited. Let's not get too excited. That's usually where I hang out at. I'm like, let's remain calm. And so then they finally get that monthly payment. We run numbers. I'm like, before we go out, let's run numbers. Like, no, I'm ready to go. We're going to be available on Thursday at 6 p.m. This, then, and third. I'm like, okay. All right. Amanda, have you booked the house? I'm like, let's look at the payment. I send that payment over. They're like, oh no.
Just like that.
Oh no. Something need to be done, but we're gonna have to have a conversation with the seller about that. And then all of a sudden, no. Then what happens next is they start picking out all the flaws in the house.
Yeah. Or they actually like, who pays the closing costs?
Yeah, who pays the closing costs? That's my payment. And then you walk around the house. The carpet need to be changed. So yeah, that's a $10,000 deduction. Yeah. Look at all this dust. That's a $5,000 deduction. Like all of a sudden the house, it cracks me up every single time. And I think it's just good old fashioned sticker shock.
Yeah.
It's good old fashioned sticker shock. And I think we need to have more conversations around what your lifestyle budget looks like, where that house fits into that, and then match that lifestyle to a house.
That's good. How do you think we go about that? Like, there are some folks, right, who just come with us blank slate. I want to buy a house and making a lot of good money, but we don't know where the money's going. And maybe you've never done a budget and you have to do a budget.
That's what it is. I think you just need to do a budget. and what that looks like. A really good starting point is to actually have an examination of what your current life looks like. The ones that are really hard are the ones that are living with their parents. Or
more.
Well, the reason being that they truly don't have a budget.
Oh yeah, because you don't have any
expenses. You have your car, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe you have your car. Maybe you have your student loans if you're paying them.
Yeah.
You definitely, do you have health insurance? Is it baked in? It's baked into your employment costs.
Correct, yeah.
So utilities and lights and things of that nature, unless your parents are making you contribute to that home economy.
That's true.
Those are the ones that it's really hard. We're really starting from ground zero. And so when you throw in a $2,000, $3,000 payment, they're like, ah!
Yeah. That's real.
And then they start doing the itemized list of everything else that they have to pay.
And I think when you do the budget with them, it reveals a lot. Like, for example, some folks, it could be eating out. Some people, it could be video games, tennis shoes, shopping, travel, right? And those, I think the travel sometimes is the toughest one.
That's the hardest one.
Because we love to travel.
Yeah, we be outside.
To be outside together. And it's just... making a joke.
They know, AD, you're married and you love your wife. That is a beautiful thing. I love you for being so, what's the word? You don't play when it comes to me.
Yeah. I'm
you don't
married,
play.
We have a beautiful daughter. Yeah, like
you
I love
don't
all
play.
of that. Yeah,
I love that. It's beautiful.
Good.
It's lovely.
Good.
I love that. You are serious about.
I'm serious about my family. Yes.
I see that.
100,000%.
Yes. Everybody must know.
What's mine is mine. All right, keep it home. Keep it tight.
If you ever been around AD, if you ever been around AD does this. He makes this joke. It makes me so uncomfortable. Where he says,
I had the joke you about to say.
He says that he trapped me.
22, found her and trapped her.
Stop saying that.
That sounded a little.
Thank you. Do you hear it out loud?
Yeah, but we've been together for like 13
I'm
years.
not trapped. That's very
14,
safe.
I mean, you of course. I mean, you've been with somebody for 14 years. I would think that you want to be in the relationship / marriage.
No, I'm trapped. Is there a marker?
Let's get back to this topic. But the one about travel, it's tough because we understand that traveling allows you to see beyond your four walls, and it allows you to meet people, different cultures and places.
Yeah, I think people, like traveling aside, I think that when people, I feel like when people get serious about buying a house, it's the first time that they're being faced with adulting.
Yeah, but all of it. Which means there are some guardrails. Yeah.
They're now going to be put on your life.
I know what you mean. Like, it's not that you can't travel anymore.
It's that you have to budget.
Yeah, to travel.
Not, I'm going to just go.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to have a house to come back to. There's really no consequences.
Correct.
If I put it all on the card, I have time to pay said card off because I'm still sleeping in my high school bedroom. Oops. Ooh.
Yeah.
Did I say that?
Yeah, I know what you're.
High school bedroom. I said it. I
know what you mean. And I think there's also the social pressure, right? Social media. Like, if for some reason we're seeing everybody's highlight reels, that we think that, if I don't have that big of a house, or if I don't live in this city or this area, I'm not doing it right.
I'm not doing it right, or I'm not doing it well.
Not doing it well. That's good. And then it kind of causes you to not want to do anything because you're like, well, if I can't do it this big, I shouldn't do it. And that's the mistake, right?
That applies to weddings. Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
I'm like, people don't want to get married unless the wedding is
big.
The weddings that you see on social media.
Yeah. And you know what I always think?
It ain't a wedding if it don't have confetti cannons or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because and we'll bring it back to the housing with the wedding, like, and I know when you initially getting married, you're like, I want it to be as big. But when you've been married for some time, you're like, well, I'm looking forward to, like the 10, 20, 30, or, renewing your vows. And then you can do it that big because you actually have people that,
have been around with you for this long. I also see a lot of people picking the wedding over the house.
Yeah.
That was not in this episode, but since we're here.
Yeah. Because the average cost of a wedding is almost like 60, 70, 80 bands. That's a really nice, hefty down payment.
Where?
I mean, the DC.
Where?
Okay, maybe the DC Metro is maybe close. It's like
100.
It's 100. It's gonna be.
It's like $100,000. That is redonkulous. It's what? Take that money and put it into a house. But I feel like certain people may feel like they're not being able to participate in something by not having that big soiree.
Yeah, we've seen it because you get in credit card debt, you mess up your DTI, and you have to rent. The plan is to maybe rent for a year, and it turns into 3 years.
Easily, because you have $100,000. Like, even with familial help,
still tough.
You had your wedding in Cannes.
Yeah. And then, like, if you're paying rent $3,000 times 12 is $36,000. You do the math. That's almost $100,000 in 3 years.
Yep. And then a baby comes.
Yeah.
And then a baby comes.
Yeah, the babies.
And a baby on top of financial debt, on a young marriage.
Stressful. Yeah, stressful. And
I didn't mean to point. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. And, we go back to, why do people fall in love before they do the math? And the truth is the math is scary. Because you have to face it. Right? It reveals things to you that you may have been ineffective at, not doing well.
It also removes all the feelings, and people have to become very practical, and that is a very grown-up thing to do.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So I think that's what it is people are removing the emotions and having to face the math. And that usually reveals one or two things. You're not making enough, or you were spending too much.
That's good. I'm like chewing on it. Yeah, it does. That's what a budget does.
Yeah, you're not making enough, or you were spending too much.
And then if you're not making enough, are you going to do something about it to make more, right? Or if you do make a lot, you just have bad spending habits, right? And
that's a sucky thing to face.
Both suck.
Both suck.
Yeah,
both
because
suck.
you have to make a change. You have to make a change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your favorite client to work with? Do you like working with single people or married people? Because we talked about both. We talked about like the married population and the getting married and the.
I love working with married folk.
Why?
Because I'm married and they married, and I'm joking.
I'm married.
I'm joking. No. I like both. I think both has their strengths and their weaknesses. Married people, they confide in each other. So by the time they're bringing it to you, I find that the decision making is a lot easier. Versus a single person, you're in the kitchen with them. You're like at brainstorming, like
we talked about that last episode.
Yeah, you're going back and forth, right? At least
they have nobody to really.
They have nobody to bounce it off with. Yeah,
except their parents.
Yeah,
and siblings.
Yeah,
and their sorors.
Okay,
and their.
And then I think single people feel the weight of the decision a lot more, in the sense that
everything's on them.
Yeah,
everything's on them.
So I actually empathize.
Especially the women.
Yeah,
single women. And that's my favorite population to work with.
Yeah, I don't want to say growing population. They're doing well. Like we have a lot of single women.
It is a growing population of home owners, single, high income, female.
Yeah.
And I think it's because women like safety and security. Buying a home simplifies that.
Yes.
This is mine. Let me go ahead and bolster this down.
Yeah. Wow, I see what you did. Safe, predictable.
It's safe. It's predictable.
Yeah.
It's predictable. So I'm seeing it more, and that's my favorite population to work with.
What about you? Is it single, married?
I just said it. Single female.
Oh, single female. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah. It's and we love both because we see the single people we've helped, and then they come around, they're married, ready to buy,
or not, and they travel in the world and they turn it into a rental property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And living their best life. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's good.
No, I love that. 100% love that. That was really good. That was really good. So
it's funny when I was thinking like, okay, are we about to pause to go to segment 2?
No, I feel you.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like with this this podcast, it's like doing it from the beginning all over again.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, reworking those muscles.
Reworking those muscles of like intentional conversation.
Yeah.
Because we talk a lot, and I thought that was enough.
Yeah.
Because we talk a lot. But you know what I really learned?
What?
I do a lot of listening. You talk a lot.
I talk a lot. Wow. And the funny part is, for folks who know us, people think I'm actually the introvert and you're the extrovert. But I guess in our marriage,
it's because I'm trapped. There's locks all over this house.
You're so ridiculous.
No, I'm joking. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's not. I don't even know if that's a good joke, but that's a joke. That's a joke. But no, I'm a very free woman. But no. I think because you're always ruminating, and you ruminate out loud.
I do, and to be honest with you, I do value your opinion. I mean, we work together, so we obviously talk about a lot of things about work, and then switches to marriage and switches to our daughter. We always talking.
And I just be sitting there just.
Before we get back on the stop, the one that cracks me up is we'll be talking, I'll leave to go to an appointment, and I'll still call you on the way up there. Like I just left her. Why am I still calling?
Why are you calling me? Like, hold on, I'm gonna finish conversation. Be running down the stairs, still talking. Finish the conversation. I'm gonna call you in like 2 seconds. I'm gonna call you in 2 seconds.
Don't talk to anybody else.
I'm gonna call you. I'm like I ain't gonna front. Like sometimes when he leave and it's quiet.
You ain't right. You're not real. Let's talk about these condos. Who benefit from these condos?
But outside of that, your presence, I love your presence. I love your energy in the home and everything like that. But man, 80 is the talker. I want this to be revealed. I want this clearly made. 80 is the talker in this marriage.
Okay, I'll take it.
He's more than talk. So the reason why I wanted to talk about who benefits from condos is because earlier we were talking about how people are trying to, actually a previous episode we were talking about how people are trying to buy perfect. And then also there's this growing population of like individual and single buyers. And with that, they're like, oh, well, let me just buy something small.
Yeah.
And so then the conversation comes up around a condo.
Yeah, that's good.
A condo. And I want to sell it to you.
Yeah.
I personally, perfect world, I would sell so many condos. Perfect world, but the world is not perfect. The world is not perfect. The world is actually highly capitalistic and a little greedy.
Yeah.
And it's not the right. It's not necessarily the right purchase.
I have 2 questions. I want to ask you who benefits first from condos, and then why, in a perfect world, do you want to sell condos? Right? Maybe we can start there.
So I'll answer that question first.
Yeah.
Why do we want to sell? Why do I want to sell more condos?
You don't
perfect world. No.
Yeah.
Perfect world.
Yeah.
In real life, there's just no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. And anyone who has worked with me, who has heard me say this a million times, no. Don't come for condos. And the reason being, this is area specific. In the Maryland, DC region, there's sometimes a lot of condominiums that are in the suburbs. Condos do well in highly dense populations.
Yeah.
So cities.
Yeah.
And usually more on the Georgetown,
Yeah.
like for New York and Jersey, you'll see a lot of condos and co-ops.
Yeah,
that makes sense there. Condos are very market specific, but for this market, if you're putting them in the suburbs of Upper Marlboro, That don't make no sense.
Yeah, you gotta put them in city. DC,
Gotta put them in the city.
Rockville, Bethesda.
Gotta
Chevy
put them in the
Chase.
city. You know, the funny part is even in Baltimore City, they don't really work well.
Yeah, unless you're like, you have to be downtown.
Even there, they don't really work well.
Yeah.
The values don't value. So the reason why I said, the reason I wish I could is because they are highly affordable.
Yeah.
They're so affordable. And they're a great barrier to entry for a first-time home buyer. They're great because of the price alone, but I'm not talking about the fees. I'm not talking about the fees. The fees are what kill it.
Yeah, that's separate.
The fees are what kill it and don't make it a great product. But if we were just talking about price point alone, great.
Yeah.
Absolutely great. But the person who wins the most with condos
Yeah, I mean, the person who wins the most with condos
is the developer.
Yeah.
The developer. But why is that?
I mean, so if you kind of think about it, if you have a plot of land, right, and you have a townhome that is 3 levels, just let's say you're going to sell the townhome at $500,000. Well, you have some condos that are townhome styles, right? So it'll be 4 levels, but 2 is in the front. I'm sorry, 2 levels.
It's at the top and then 1 is at the bottom.
No, 4. It's 4 levels. So
2 and 2.
2 and 2, but
Yes.
but it's still in that same lot.
Yes.
Right? They just go up.
Yeah, so now you're able to
sell them for like maybe the bottom 300,000 or the top 400,000. Now that's $700,000
in the same unit.
in the same unit versus 5. And they get really interesting when you make them garden style, like how we have garden style apartments. And then maybe you go up 4, 5 levels and you sell them $300,000 a pop. Now we're talking about 1.2 million.
You know who wins from that?
The developer or the builder.
Who else? You missing one.
Yeah. So then also the county or the city you
The
live
county
in.
and the city they live in, because now they're able to charge property taxes on every single one of the units,
Yeah.
which is an income driver for public works.
Yeah, schools, the roads,
roads.
right? So it's not a bad thing, right?
It's not
This
a
is
bad
what
thing.
helps
It's not
your-
ill intent.
Yeah,
but
not
this
ill
is
intent.
why you see condos are allowed to be developed in certain areas.
Yeah.
But then let's talk about like the wealth, like the growth of these properties, because the
Yeah.
point of ownership is equity
Yeah. So like
for
we're
your
not,
home to be worth something later.
yeah, you're correct. We're not only concerned with helping you acquire it, but we're also thinking about when we help you sell it, right? And how it benefits you.
Right.
And what Amanda's saying is that, for example, let's just talk about 3 types of loans, right? We have FHA, conventional, and a VA, right?
USDA too.
Yeah, USDA, yeah. But let's just talk about FHA for a second. Well, let me go to conventional. So, no, sorry, let me go back to FHA.
No, go back to conventional.
No, I'm really serious, FHA.
Okay.
So like, FHA, Federal Housing Administration, their down payment is 3.5%. But FHA has this rule that only applies to condos. Does not apply to townhome communities. Does
Don't.
not apply to single family home communities. Only condo communities.
So dumb.
And what they're saying in this condo community is that for an FHA buyer to purchase in that neighborhood, 51% of the homeowners have to live there. So that means only 49% can be renters, but 51% or greater has to be homeowners. But there's a second caveat. The second caveat is that 85% has to pay their condo fees on time.
Easy, right?
Easy.
No.
So no. So what happens? You buy a condo. It's your first home. You're like, yeah, I want to turn it into a rental, right? And then you turn
Everybody else in that building is thinking the exact same thing.
the exact same thing.
I'm gonna live here for 3 years. I'm gonna turn it into a rental.
Yep, they do that, and then the condo fee starts going up. It was like maybe $300 when you bought it, and then $400, and then you just get this bright idea like, I'm gonna stop paying this because what am I really getting? I'm not living there.
Bad idea.
Yeah, another bad idea.
Bad idea.
So now you're not living there, you're not paying the condo fees. So now what happens when you want to sell it? You can't sell to an FHA buyer 3.5% down payment. The only person you can sell to is a conventional buyer, put in 10% or greater.
Which makes the overall ability to buy it harder, which then impacts the overall ability for the property to increase in value.
To sell at a higher
Rate. So
Yeah.
that's why you see a lot of times with condos, the way it was sold is what it's worth now.
Yeah.
Or just a little bit more.
Just a little bit more.
Just a little bit more.
Unless you're like in the just downtown, high amenities, high traffic.
We're talking Bethesda, Chevy Chase, like
Rockville, DC,
that's
Northwest.
But even those are hard to turn over. We've had listings right across the street from Pike and Rose.
Yeah. Capitol Hill.
Yeah, those take time to still sell.
Yeah.
It's a very specific buyer. The values are great.
Yeah.
But it's a very specific buyer because of that condo fee. Those condo fees be like $800 to $1,000 a month.
So who are the buyers that we see actually benefit where we're like, okay, actually this makes a lot of sense?
Seniors.
Yeah.
Seniors, 100%.
Correct.
It's low amenities. Low maintenance.
Low maintenance.
They're buying these condos cash.
Yeah.
Because they were in the single family home.
Yeah.
They're empty nesters finally.
Yeah.
And they're sitting on a bunch of cash, so they go and buy it. They're like,
so the house is paid for. They have like a $500 condo fee, and not the worst, right? Because sometimes water is included.
A lot of times water is included.
They don't have to shovel. They don't have to do anything.
Which is nuts that water is included. That means that a lot of these buildings are not even separately metering the water.
Yeah, you find older buildings have that. The newer ones do, but the older ones, you're right. Like it's like you could have a neighbor who just.
So that's the biggest part, is that a lot of people get into these condos with the intent of not paying their condo fees. Because the real question is, a lot of people are not even asking the real question. Why do condo fees go up?
Good question. They go up because the cost and goods and services that we use go up as well.
And it starts with an S.
What?
The building is subsidizing.
Oh, yeah.
The building is subsidizing from the people who are paying their condo fee on time and the people who are not.
Yeah.
Because someone gets a bright idea in their head, what is this condo association doing for me lately?
Yeah.
And they don't realize, now granted, I'm not speaking for all condo associations. There are some that are poorly ran. And I have seen them because have had the pleasure of having to sell said units. I've seen some run awfully, trash, absolutely the worst. But there are some that are run decent.
Not really well, just decent.
Decent. There's some that I don't think there's ever perfect, even with HOAs. No. Yeah. But there's some that are ran decently. And with those, like you said, the cost of having that lady that's in the mailroom that does the keys or the little dog park.
Yeah.
Or the pool upstairs in the community or the gym.
Yeah.
All those things. Keeping the main lobby clean, that contract.
Pool with the lifeguard.
The grass being cut. The roof being changed out.
It's a lot.
All that stuff cost.
Yeah.
The cost of all those things, that is increasingly going up with inflation. And so if our neighbors are not paying their fees, your fee will go up.
Yeah, you're right. So, we're not saying condos are bad, but for the person who is at the beginning of their journey and, wants to build a lot of wealth, it's something that you have to be mindful of. It's a conversation we have, like, hey, what does the exit strategy look like? And we're very mindful of informing them of like all of these things.
All these details, absolutely.
Right? So that way they know.
Because I'm not saying no, I'm saying be mindful.
Just be mindful.
Be mindful. Be mindful of the purchase. Because, ultimately, I work at the behest of you. Whatever you want to do, you want to do. And if you have the income and finances to make it happen, then absolutely. I've had clients like that have clearly, Amanda, no, condo is my lane.
Correct. Yeah.
Condo is my lane. Absolutely. Okay. All right. I, with a clear conscience, have given you all the pros and cons.
Yeah. And then there's nothing wrong with that. Because, again, remember we talked about, I'm not sure it was this episode or last episode, it goes back to you and your immediate needs as of right now.
Yeah.
And if that's what works and fits that criteria, great, go for it. We'll support it. Right?
We'll support it.
But again, our job is the fiduciaries to always make sure we give you the opinions, like you said.
Keep it moving.
And keep it going. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So what happened this week? Now, before you get into the story, AD, I want to preface something.
Okay.
So we both experienced it. I was there. I was in the car when it happened. I was just reflecting, sitting silently and laughing because I want to give you just one thing that you can do to get on AD's bad side very quickly is to take and make claim to his time. Don't do that. Like, don't volunteer him. Don't involve him. If you want to get on his bad side fast, claim his time unnecessarily without his permission. And that's what this agent did.
Yeah. Let me give you all your context.
And it was hilarious.
Monday through Saturday, we're ready to go, ready to serve. So this agent calls me on Sunday, right? So we have this beautiful single family home that came on the market on Friday. Multiple offers by the time he's calling me on Sunday, right? He's telling me about his client.
Which is normal. All these things are normal so far.
Yeah, and even though we don't like working on Sunday, we represent the seller. Our job, our fiduciary duty is to have their interests, right? So I'm going to pick up the phone.
That's our job.
That's our job. I do that.
But the conversation should be about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Writing an offer, tell me your feedback. Something you liked about the house? Wonderful.
Great. Done. So at this point, we've been on the phone for about like 15 minutes. He just kind of giving me the backstory of his client, like since he's been working with them. And I was just like, oh, okay.
This is longer than usual.
It's longer than usual. So then I'm thinking we're about to say goodbye. And then he says, hey, your last name. He said, where you from? I said, I'm Nigerian, right? He said, oh, I know you're countryman.
Your countryman.
I said, okay.
Your countrymen. That is the vernacular that he decided to use.
Yep.
Where are you from, sir?
Countrymen.
The countrymen.
So he starts like listing all of these names.
All of this.
Yeah. I did that.
All these different people.
Olu this.
Olu that.
Like just Tammy this. Like just
Tammy
all
that.
of it. And proceeds to ask me, do I know them?
So then there was this awkward pause. He was like, you know them?
I said no. I said,
she said yes. Yes. I know all of them.
We grew up at the same time.
Yep, I know all of them. They are, you know him too? Stop, I went to church with, I just got off the phone with him.
Stop. So, it threw me aback. So I'm like, okay, at this point, we're 30 minutes in. I'm like, about to get off.
AD's being really, really generous in this moment.
I'm like, we're in a car ride, buddy. I'm 30. I'm like,
okay.
And then,
and by the way, he's rambling. I think so. This guy has no spatial or social awareness.
None. Zero.
Zit. So it's just rambling.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm about to get off the phone, and then our daughter makes like a coo noise in the back. You have a daughter? You have a kid?
You looking back you looking in the back seat like, girl, shush.
I've never wanted to lie so bad in my life.
Don't you lie about our baby.
I've never wanted to lie so. I was like, yeah.
All she did was like, nah, do a little noise that they do in the car.
He asks me the age. I tell him, how old she is, and he's like, oh man, that's a beautiful age. Starts going to run down, telling me about his kids. Of course, I'm going to listen.
Okay.
How you not going to listen to other people's kids?
Why, of course, are you going to listen?
Because it's kids. Now that you have a kid, you're like, okay, I get it. I get it. Everybody is proud of their kids.
Oh, right.
So I let him, just kind of go on, and then for some reason, people want to kind of give advice about parenting.
Unsolicited.
Yeah, I said, okay.
I'm here for it.
So now we're 45 minutes in, y'all.
45-minute drive.
On a Sunday.
Why is the distance so long on a Sunday?
So I finally get off the phone. This is the nail that really hits the coffin. I don't know if that's how the analogy goes. I don't know.
Straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, do that one.
Yeah.
On Monday, out of the 4 offers we received,
Seller goes with his.
So I had to call him to congratulate him. And it wasn't 5, 10.
All right, yeah, we're going to be working with each other. Yep, okay, I'll let you know when the home inspection is going to be. Fantastic. Look forward to working with you. That's how the phone call should go.
That's how it should go. Yeah, I went on for another 15. Hey, man, it's going to be,
Let me tell you how great this transaction about to be.
Just all of it.
Let me tell you, yo, we're gonna be best friends at the end of this transaction. Yo, I'm so excited. Yo, you gonna see how I work. You gonna see it.
She's not making it up. It really did go like that. Like, he's telling me how did we make the best. And then, you know, it's not like, you know, it's like a normal transaction where it's 30 days. Our seller needs a rent back. So it's going to be 60 days in total. So this guy's going to be in my life for 2 months. Pray for me. Pray for me. I don't know how I'm going to handle it.
Pray for me.
I don't know. But yeah.
You know what you got to do with people like that, sweetheart? Is you got to just get silent.
You think he would get it?
Let me tell you. I would be so...
Because I imagine him saying, hello? Hello?
Baby,
are you there?
So,
Hello?
I do that to you sometimes. Because, you know, like, you'll get on, like, these, like, tangents. Because I am... How he is to you, you are to me sometimes... When you start talking about like investment properties, because when you start talking about investment property, you don't just talk about them. You begin to speed up your language. It is fantastically interesting how you can, it's like there's a dial inside of you. This is you at normal mode, but when you start talking about investment properties, you go to a 10. And so you start speaking faster. You start speaking faster, and you get so excited about wealth building and passive income.
I see what you're trying to do there.
That's what gets them going.
And then I get it. I'm like, oh.
And then what I do, and what you should learn from this situation, because you helped me with a client a few episodes ago, what you should do with this gentleman is just.
Okay. I'm gonna try.
Don't you'll be done with your point. And then I will say nothing back.
Yeah, in a minute or two, I typically catch it, but I just hope he doesn't like go 5 minutes without. Yeah,
but it's so people they'll see how bad his social awareness is. Just try it.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, this has been fantastic.
Yes, thank you guys for watching. Again, don't forget to give us a subscribe, right? Share this, and then like it. Coming out with new episodes when?
Every Thursday.
Okay.
And our other show, Love and Real Estate, is always on Mondays or Sundays, depending upon when I upload it. Okay? It's been fantastic always talking to you.
Awesome. Right. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.